Nation Game Day post-game show. We are continuing to bring your fast takes and smart coverage live. I'm Cassie Soto here with Adam Hill. Adam, the Raiders got their season off to a strong start, but then they ran into New England. Perfect, no more.
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough trip. Anytime you go to New England, we know that they are a dynasty. It's a new era with Cam Newton in there instead of Tom Brady, so the offense looks a lot different, but the result really isn't that much different here as the Raiders go in there. And it's kind of been a house of horrors for them over the years, and that continued again today. They couldn't stop the run. They made all the mistakes that they weren't making in the first 2 weeks. The Patriots took away took away Darren Waller, and didn't let the Raiders go to their strongest weapon on offense. And the Raiders could not find an alternative there. So whatever could go wrong kind of did go wrong, especially in the second half for the Raiders, who looked like they built some momentum there at the end of the first half. Didn't really carry over.
Right. Well, this game, of course, didn't escape without injury. Quarterback Damon Arnette appeared to hurt his wrist. He was kind of like holding it a little bit in the first half. Adam, what do you think about this injury, and what does it mean for Arnette moving forward? We know he's had that soft cast, but look at him here. Looks like he's in pain there.
Yeah, he's had to deal with the thumb and the wrist injury for the last several weeks. All throughout training camp, he was dealing with it. He actually dealt with it all the way back in college as well. He's been trying to play through it. He talked about last week, had to leave the game a couple times because it's like a stubbed toe. You'd feel it. Anytime it jams on anything, you feel it, and you got to walk off the field. You got to get off, get a breather. Today, left for an even more extended period of time. And I think it's just going to be something that's lingering for a while for Damon Arnette. Credit to him for trying to play through it, but it's certainly impacting his ability out there on the field, and he has to leave every once in a while, and that's just something the Raiders are going to have to deal with for the time being.
Yeah, well, here's not a good one here. Receiver Bryan Edwards left the game with an ankle injury. He fell really awkwardly. Player landed on top of him. The Raiders were already missing Henry Ruggs III, who suffered a knee injury during last week's game. What do you think this means for the Raiders offense moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, we saw they didn't have that firepower that they usually have, and once you take Darren Waller away, they weren't able to have Henry Ruggs on the field today at all. And then, you lose Bryan Edwards, who was very dangerous when he was out there. He was very impactful for the Raiders today. Gets tackled from behind. It wasn't a horse collar, but you see why those horse collar tackles are illegal. When you get tackled from behind, certainly can cause injury. It did for Bryan Edwards, and you just saw what happens to that offense when you don't have the weapons. They've still got really good receivers. Zay Jones, Nelson Aguilar, Hunter Renfrow, all contributed certainly to the cause today, but you lose that explosiveness, and you see what that does to a team.
Yeah, well, and during our pregame show, if you guys watched, we did mention that safety Jonathan Abram reportedly chipped his collarbone on Monday night's game when he ran into that TV truck. Well, today he picked off Cam Newton for his first interception of his career, but besides that, is anyone going to have a tougher time looking at this game, Phil, than John Abram?
It's going to be tough. I think the Patriots kind of took his aggressiveness and used it against them a little bit. They were doing a lot of cutback plays where Abram was over pursuing, and I'm sure he'll see the same thing that we did on the tape, that you just can't get caught up in that. You have to maintain your discipline. Abram is a guy that flies all over the field. Mm-hmm. That's what they like about him. They like that aggressiveness. They like that he's willing to get involved, but you can't over pursue. You can't allow those cutback lanes. He did that on too many occasions today. I don't know that it was the injury. Could have had something to do with it. Anytime you have an injury, it affects your ability to really move around. You're thinking about it sometimes. So we'll see how much of that was injury related, how much maybe was just Jonathan Abram being a little bit too excited out there in this game. But yeah, he's going to have a tough time watching some of those plays on film. But again, credit to him. He played through a pretty bad injury.
Right.
I certainly wouldn't be able to do this show if I had a chipped collarbone. So
limping around here like this.
It's tough. But yeah, I think he will kind of learn from that a little bit, I think, and maybe not let that happen going forward. But the interception was a nice one to have on your highlight film, intercepting Cam Newton. It was a pretty easy pick. He was just kind of standing there. Cam Newton, I don't think, saw him and threw it right to him along the sideline. So that's a good one. That'll be one to remember. The rest of the game, maybe not so much.
All right. Well, Abram was getting a lot of love, a lot of comments on social media. For example, Twitter user and offensive lineman here, Duke Manyweather, tweeting Jonathan Abram is one of the offensive players, excuse me here, I'm so sorry, one of the players to watch here. Great young player, even better young man. Getting some love there, to which offensive lineman Trent Brown said, "Love that guy like my mom birthed him."
Wow.
Brother from another mother there. He
That
could
is
have said that.
close.
That was a little better.
That's a close friend. And yeah, Duke Manyweather, a guy who trains a lot of offensive linemen, trains Trent Brown. He works out with him. So making that comment, they're close. Trent Brown did a lot of tweeting today. Wasn't out there on the field for the Raiders, but he's trying to work back from that injury. and was able to chime in a lot on what he thought about the game. It was better early for Trent Brown than it was late, as the Raiders kind of got run over a little bit in the second half.
And it is a household divided, or should we say bedroom divided, for another Twitter user who posted this photo here. Look at that.
Wow.
Dual blankets.
Seahawks and Raiders. Seahawks obviously hoping their game goes a little bit better than the Raiders did. I wonder if that's what happens. Weeks that the Seahawks play well, the Raiders don't. Do you kind of move that bedspread over a little bit and just
one
just
takes over the other a little bit?
Yeah, just showcase the Seahawks one, maybe?
Right.
That would make some sense.
Well, quarterback Derek Carr got his teammates ready to play. Let's go ahead and take a listen to this. All right, give me your best Derek Carr impression here.
I'm not a man of 1,000 voices. I can't. But he said, "Don't wait for somebody else to make the play." I think that's what he said there.
I think that's what he said.
And maybe I think there might have been a little bit too much of that for the Raiders today. Maybe he needed to be a little bit more forceful in that statement to his teammates. They were, I think, at times like it was like, okay, somebody's going to make a play. Who's it going to be? You can't wait for somebody to do it, as Derek Carr is saying. I guess I'll channel him through my through my words instead of.
You can't give me your California, Texas accent here?
I don't have that. I don't possess that. That's not one of my many talents.
Well, finally, this one was too good not to share. The Broncos are using some local characters to fill the stands during the pandemic. I'm not a South Park watcher, so if you could explain this to me here a little bit.
You're gonna have to help me too. Not really my thing. And the Family Guy versus South Park debate, I'm a Family Guy.
Okay,
guy.
yep. Okay,
yeah.
I'm there. I'm with you there.
But yeah, these are many characters, I believe, in South Park. And I'm wondering, because they are doing a pandemic episode coming up. Looks like some of those have masks on there. Maybe it's just a promotional tool. It is definitely a promotional tool, but I mean, maybe they paid for that. Maybe they're responsible for that. I'm not sure. But yeah, South Park well represented for the Broncos game today.
Look at that hairstyle. That was pretty good. All right.
A lot of orange in that game today. Yeah, Broncos and Buccaneers. That'll be very orange.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us for week 3 of our fast takes and smart coverage here on Vegas Nation. We will be back next Sunday at 9 a.m. as the Raiders take on the undefeated Buffalo Bills. But if you can't just wait for some more football before then, be sure to check us out on Vegas Nation Blitz on Wednesday nights. I'm Cassie Soto. He's Adam Hill. We'll see you next time.